In the first of an exclusive three-part series, South Australian wine grape grower Jock Harvey talks to Digital Farm TV about how McLaren Vale vignerons have, since 1991, worked to replenish and preserve the underground water supplies in the Willianga Basin, and how today around half the water used for grape production is reclaimed.
It's the largest reclaimed water network of its type in Australia. Essentially, we have domestic use, road runoff, that basically comes into storage, is treated, and then it was sent out to sea. Any water sent out to sea has a detrimental effect to the marine environment. So any time you save water from that environment is positive. We had a situation where we didn't have alternative sources of water. We basically were using a lot of our underground water, mains water from Maiponga. So to extend high value farming, which was essentially viticulture, a group of local investors signed a 40-year agreement with the government and then ran a pipeline from Christie's Beach 20 kilometres to McLaren Vale and then managed a distribution network.
So that pipeline obviously runs uphill?
The water's pumped uphill and distributed to irrigators. We've now been working, put forward a scheme to both federal and state government called a mains water substitution scheme, where they will contribute to the cost of changing from mains water use to reclaimed water, and that basically means that there's more potable water available for consumers.
Fantastic. I understand back in the early 90s there was great concern about the amount of water being sucked out of the aquifers around here for irrigation.
Yep.
And you guys have managed to turn that right around.
A group of growers got together and lobbied that state's Environment Minister and the state government. They put a proclamation on the basin back in 1991. Then a group was put together with the catchment board and they worked for 3 years to get a community plan together. We calculated that the sustainable yield was 6,600 megalitres. The peak use was up to 12 at one stage, so the basin was in decline. And then in 2002, a water management plan was put in place, and over the 10 years we've seen that the sustainable yield hasn't actually been exceeded. And we've also seen that the basin in many places is actually recovering. 10 years down the track with the plan, we were informed that there wasn't the resources to read the meters on the bores. So we've done a lot of research and put forward a proposal to get telemetry reading on bores, and we can also use pressure reading to give us well height as well. So we can give real-time data, share it with the government and the catchment board and the growers to give us actual flow rate and the well height read by telemetry rather than physically reading these bores.
So how important do you regard this kind of sustainable innovation activity to be in terms of making high value products like wine in this country?
I think if the landowners and the stakeholders actually understand their resource more fully and then set plans in place to make it sustainable, it's a much more sensible way of doing it than relying on government to come in and fix a problem when the resource is, let's say, buggered. To understand it and to manage it with the stakeholders is much more important.